This is the Washington Times front page for Wednesday, July 27th, 2022. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. Weaker consumer sentiment and dwindling new home sales are pointing to a sputtering economy, setting up a key announcement by the Federal Reserve to raise interest rates once again. Dave Boyer reports the monthly consumer survey by business research group Conference Board showed consumer confidence fell in July for the third straight month. It's now at its lowest level since February of 2021. The Department of Commerce reported new home sales fell by 8.1% in June, the biggest drop in more than 2 years, as mortgage rates climbed to about 5.5%. Last year, a 30-year fixed mortgage rate averaged 3%, costing nearly $500 less per month on a $300,000 home loan. The indicators were released before the Fed's expected announcement that it will raise its benchmark borrowing rate again by 0.75 of a percentage point to combat chronically high inflation. It will be the central bank's fourth rate hike since March. Speaking of the central bank, a Senate GOP report claims that China is trying to recruit U.S.-based economists to feed information back to Chinese officials and has even managed to place cooperating sources inside the Federal Reserve System. Stephen Dinan reports Republicans on the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee say one employee provided information on the Fed's economic modeling to a Chinese university. Another, who had connections with China's international recruitment network, tried to send large sets of data from the Fed to an external site. Federal Reserve Chair Jay Powell vehemently disputed the findings. He said the system has robust safeguards to protect its information and that employees are required to affirm they are following the rules. Russian officials announced the country will pull out of the International Space Station in 2024, ending decades of cooperation with the United States and its allies in space and putting the future of the facility in doubt. Ben Wolfgang reports it's unclear what, if anything, the U.S. and its European allies may offer to Russia to continue ISS cooperation. So far, the U.S. and NATO have insisted they will maintain economic sanctions on Russia until all its troops withdraw from Ukraine. The ISS is run jointly by Russia, the United States, Europe, Canada, and Japan, and has been continuously inhabited for 22 years. The $100 billion space station serves as a key research facility where crews test cutting-edge technology that can be used in future manned missions to the Moon or Mars. NASA did not immediately comment on the impacts of the announcement. You can read all of these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. You can also find the entire lineup of Washington Times podcasts at WashingtonTimes.com/podcasts. Former President Donald Trump made his first appearance in Washington since leaving office, giving a speech at the America First Policy Institute Summit. Kerry Pickett reports much of his address was devoted to law and order policies and enforcing the southern U.S. border with Mexico, saying that regulations that were soft on crime led to a spike in crime. According to recent polling, Trump has the support of most Republican voters, but hearings of the House January 6 Select Committee looking into the pro-Trump riot at the U.S. Capitol have taken a toll on the former president's popularity. The Worcester, Massachusetts City Council is considering an ordinance to require crisis pregnancy centers to provide abortion referrals. Valerie Richardson reports Worcester City Council member Thu Nguyen, who sponsored the proposed ordinance, accused some facilities of engaging in deceptive maneuvers to steer pregnant clients away from abortion. The council voted 6-5 to prepare a draft ordinance to specify that such establishments must either directly provide or provide referrals for abortions or emergency contraception. Similar movements have formed in other Massachusetts communities, where crisis pregnancy centers outnumber abortion clinics by an estimated ratio of 3-1. And finally, NFL training camps represent a fresh start for most teams, but the Washington Commanders aren't most teams. Sports reporter Matt Paris reports fans who turn out to see the team's first practice this week already have had to jump through more hoops than they're used to. The Commanders have introduced a new lottery system for training camp tickets and made fewer practice sessions open to the public. The Commanders gave fans until July 13th to sign up in advance for the lottery. Those who entered had to pick from only 8 dates for the sessions, being held at team headquarters in Ashburn, Virginia, after years of training camps in Richmond. For a team looking to start anew, and for a team that ranked next to last in NFL attendance last year, fans say the lottery is just another misstep. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in your favorite podcast app. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.